Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of LunarCrush Live. We're excited today. We've got Ethernity. Looks like Nick is backstage, ready to go. But before we get into that, always our disclaimer here, we do not take payments for our live stream. We bring on fun, cool, exciting people that have dedicated their careers and lives to crypto. Sounds like Nick is one of those guys. And we've got some fun ones coming up. So hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're following along. And we also have a new face on here today. Ian, head of NFT over here at LunarCrush. How you doing, bud?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Sure. You've been on some of this stuff before, but we haven't. I don't know if we've had you on like the specific LunarCrush Live, but excited to have you a part of it. And John, did you get on that surfboard this morning?
Not this morning. I unfortunately didn't have time today because I had meetings. I was on Zoom instead. But I'm excited that Ian's here too.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Cool. Well, we will, without further ado, Nick, what's up, my man?
Hello, guys. What's up? How are you?
Doing good, man. Welcome to the show. We always like to start with, who are you and where are you in the world right now?
Hi, I'm Nick Rose. They're just the CEO of Ethernity and Eternal Labs. And currently, I'm in Greece. I'm visiting my family. A little quick trip here, and everything is good. So Athens, Greece.
Awesome. What's the weather like over there?
It's kind of bad actually today. I came and I expected to see some sun, but today is kind of rainy, so not ideal.
It's great. It's crazy to think about. We've had over 100 live streams now, and probably I would say at least 50 to 70 countries were represented on that, maybe more if we had a little bit more people. But like, I always think about coming into this industry, or like anyone kind of coming up into this industry and thinking about working internationally and working with people from different cultures, different backgrounds. And it's, when you join the industry in crypto, you just kind of like back into that, and you don't realize that, like, oh my gosh, instantly you're learning all these cultures in business. I mean, do you guys have, like, I heard you guys a little bit before as I popped on, my camera was broken, but you were talking about offices and remote, I think a little bit. How, like, where's your team at, and like, what's it been like working internationally, and how do you work with other projects?
Yeah, that's great. We had this conversation earlier. We were saying that Ethernity officially launched through the whole COVID pandemic, so we had no choice but launch through Zoom, right? So the Zoom culture took over right before the company even goes live. We started 3 people working on the idea back in 2017, and we completed the official launch in 2020. So yeah, my CTO and co-founder is based in San Francisco, which is ideal because we can work in normal hours since I live in LA full time. But the rest of the team is all over the world, from Argentina to Hong Kong to Romania, Greece, Turkey, England. Where else? In the States, in multiple states, from New York. The majority of the team, I would say, though, is in Florida, Miami. Everybody's been moving there. It's becoming like a little crypto-centric metropolis. So the mayor is very friendly to crypto and blockchain individuals and companies. So the core team actually is in Miami, Florida.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like anyone that picks up and moves right now, it's like if you're not moving to Miami and you're in crypto, it's almost a little suspect. It's like, how diehard are you?
I lived in Miami for 5 years. It's too hot for me.
It is hot.
Yeah, I was actually going to Consensus tomorrow, actually. And I mean, I've been in Austin when it was like 98, 99 and humid. It's supposed to be 105 degrees and humid every day. I'm like, what are we all just going to go sit in the hotel room in the AC? Like, you're going to walk for 4 minutes and need to change your shirt.
Exactly.
It's too hot. And Miami's like that, like almost, not, I wouldn't say all year round, but it is too hot. I would agree with that.
You guys said something really interesting, actually. Like, they're moving to Miami because the mayor, the politicians are very friendly to crypto. Think about how big of a deal that is versus trying to just clamp down and say you can't do certain things. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I've met Mayor Suarez. He came actually in LA, and I had a meeting with him and a few other people. He's so smart, and I really hope one day he runs for president, because that's going to be great for the whole Web3 space. And he potentially will, who knows? But he's a smart individual that really understands the space, and it was very surprising for me. So it's such a great thing to have politicians backing a new technology that's been blasted all over the world for many, many reasons. And you have this great guy, and it's good for everybody.
Yeah, he's very likable, which helps you get elected here in the U.S. for sure. So tell us a little bit about your career, your journey into crypto. You know, you don't need to go all the way back to like the moment I found Bitcoin, like we always do, but like just a little bit about like why crypto is important to you.
Yeah, I won't say the whole story. It's an interesting story. There's a little documentary that I don't know if you guys know the Metaverse page on Instagram. They're doing a little documentary on our company. So we say all that stuff in there, how I got into Bitcoin. But I've been in crypto for about 10 years. Completely out of nowhere. I got really interested on the blockchain technology because I loved the idea of decentralization. I loved the idea of peer-to-peer transactions. I love the idea of building on the internet, building on top of the internet. And when Ethereum actually came out is when I took crypto very, very serious because it enabled founders and creators and developers to actually build on a blockchain without having to write a new blockchain, right? That's how I really got excited with it. And when NFTs came out in 2017-18, that was what changed the game for me. And I decided to be a founder and start my own company. I did multiple things before. I invested in companies, equity tokens before 2017. But when I saw NFTs and how you can represent ownership with a token, that's when it changed the game for me. And then the line of thought and got into, I know what I want to do. I want to start my own company that's going to do digital collectibles, digital art, digital video games one day that people can own their own assets. And that's how Eternal Labs started.
And so you said, you know, you were investing, you saw tokens, you saw coins, you saw Ethereum, but not until NFTs where you're like, I'm jumping in like head first. Like what was I mean, you could argue a little bit that like, you know, there was going to be ownership and stuff with Ethereum, but what was it specifically about NFTs that you were like, this is it?
If you think about it, we spend more time on our phones than we actually spend talking to other people, right? The difference with NFTs and non-fungible tokens and the blockchain technologies, if you want to own a digital asset on your phone, an image, an artwork, a weapon on a Blizzard game, on an Epic Games game, you don't really own it. The company does, right? So if the company goes bankrupt tomorrow, your item that you paid money for is gone. So it's not really yours. Blockchain enables you to actually own the item. And when interoperability becomes a thing later with metaverses actually being able to connect, if you own a token on the Exorians universe that we're building, and one day the Exorians universe might not work, you can jump on Sandbox, or you can jump on Decentraland, or you can jump to a different metaverse of your choice, and you'll still be able to use the weapons you bought from us, and you'll potentially still be able to use the characters you bought from us. So the interconnection of different metaverses and the blockchain ownership, and that's just for gaming, right? For art, you don't have to buy art on OpenSea. You can buy art on OpenSea but you still have it on your wallet, and you can go sell it on Ethernity, or you can go sell it on Lux Rare. So this full-on ownership of your own assets is what's exciting to me.
I like you called it the exogenous verse. Is that what you said?
Exorians universe.
Oh, Exorian. Exogenous,
yeah.
Which is also means like the external verse. I was like, we need to rebrand Metaverse to Exogenous verse.
Like,
it's way cooler.
It's Exorians. It means the exiled in Greek.
Okay, I like it. Maybe I can see maybe there's a root there of that word. It's super cool.
Yeah.
So tell us, you know, what is Ethernity?
Yeah, sure. So Ethernity was our first product. Like I said, Eternal Labs is a parent company. We raised $20 million. We did the seed round, raised $20 million, so we'll be able to put out there more offerings and more products of our liking and what we believe we can do best. The first product was Ethernity, Ethernity.io. Ethernity is focusing into authenticated NFTs and helping brands and individuals to create collectibles and art into the blockchain, right? We were only focusing into really high-end individuals and brands. We were the first ones that we launched Shaquille O'Neal on his collectibles with Justin Muller, We worked with the Bruce Lee estate and Ralph Grassetti and launched collectibles for Bruce Lee. Sold out. It was great. Lionel Messi, the biggest soccer star in the world. We brought him into the blockchain as well. 350 million followers all over his socials. So I felt we brought a lot of attention into the blockchain by doing those things. And it doesn't end there. Tony Hawk, and by going to our website, you can see we've done over 40 drops with big brands and individuals. And we're very, very happy with how Ethernity did its first year of operations. And yeah, that was our first product. We have a lot of things happening and coming there in the future.
Awesome. And I'll do one more here before, I'll just shut up and let the guys keep going. But I want to understand a little bit, like you said, Lionel Messi or like Tony Hawk, and there's been a couple of drops, but like in the last 12 months or a little bit before even, it was like insanely competitive for like the kind of like celebrity drop type thing. And it's like, how did you guys, were you in like a pitch to compete to be like, hey, Messi, we're going to launch this or whatnot, or was it partnerships or friendships or other things? Like, how did you see kind of that landscape unfold?
Not really. We never approached them as celebrity drops. We always approach them, hey, Leo, you want to build your own product and community, like you have the Messi store that sells clothes forever. You should build your own brand into digital assets. So our approach was never, oh, let's do a drop and make some quick money. That was never our approach, and that's why.
That's probably why he did it with you.
Yeah, that's why we were able to get all these big names, and we're still getting them. And now we're actually going to be focusing a lot into brands, right? I can't reveal any names yet, but like Adidas did a great drop and keeps adding utility to their holders, and that's what we're focusing on. And obviously, after our raise, the Exorians Universe is coming, which is our own brand, but there's going to still be partnerships. So imagine you purchased a Lionel Messi NFT from us. That's actually a digital jersey. When our game is ready, you'll be able to take that jersey that you purchased as a collectible and wear it on the game, and it's fully yours, right? And we're working very, very hard, and we have already announced partnerships with Sandbox and Decentraland. So one day you'll be able to use the same wearables and items on their metaverses. So we enable and we want our community to try other things as well, because that's the only way the items you're actually creating will have the most value. If people, it's like different video games, right? Nobody plays Call of Duty all the time. There's other people who play Roblox, or there's other people who play Minecraft. But the same people might like soccer, right? So why not give an opportunity or the option to those people who like Lionel Messi to be able to wear his jersey in any games or any metaverses, right? So yeah, that's the philosophy behind of how we do things on Ethernity.
Composability.
All right, so I might ask something here that'll take up the entire hour, but
sure,
we'll see. So Nick, so far you've said at least 5 or 6 times you keep talking about like interoperability, metaverse interoperability, and it's interesting. It's like a lot of times the future is not clear. The future is really ambiguous, and we just don't know. It feels like we naturally, no matter which way we look at it, we're falling into this interoperability discussion of like things will just work together, and so there's kind of like that vision, and it seems really clear. And we hear this a lot from like everyone we talk to. But here we are today, right? We've got different NFT marketplaces, which in a strange way, considering how, there's so many comments about being decentralized and ownership and all that, in a strange way, a lot of these marketplaces are like walled gardens still in a strange way. And so and then there's these different chains that have like certain marketplaces only work with certain chains, and it's a mess. It's a mess because this is all hot and it's running, and so how do we go from there? I guess, how do you see things evolving from where we are today into this interoperable future, I should say? How do you see that?
Well, the best answer on your question is it takes time. This is a brand new technology that just came out, and it's just been exploding. We don't even have enough devs yet. Nobody does. Whoever tells you they have enough devs, they're lying. Nobody has enough devs to do that. But everybody's working. We founders speak to each other. We're speaking to Sebastian from Sandbox. Even Facebook emailed us to speak, and I have done multiple calls with them about the metaverse they're building. Because I don't know if Facebook will be open to work with us, because we consider like the crypto people that started this, and they're the big giant company that's entering the metaverse now. But they've been very friendly to at least to at least the calls I had with them, founders speak to each other, and a lot of companies. Palm NFT raised 64 million. A lot of companies are very well funded, like us, Palm, OpenSea, and we speak to each other. I mean, I don't know if they speak to each other, but I would assume they do. But it takes time. It takes time to build. People in crypto, and because I've been around for so long, and this is like, I don't know how to say this word without offending anybody in the space. This when thing without the H, when everybody says when this, when that, that's the like cancer in the space right now. Everybody wants everything today, and it's not going to happen today. It's going to take us years. This is a 10-year project for us, but it's a brand new technology that's super unstable in terms of value. Look what's happening in the market today. Look what's happening, and that's the 5th time I see that. That's my 5th cycle, right? But to me, it's pretty normal. Like, as far you have a plan, as far you have enough money to execute, and if you have enough people to do it, eventually it will happen. People have to be patient. It's actually pretty simple.
Tell Facebook on your next call to stop hoarding all the devs.
Say that again.
Tell Facebook to stop hoarding all the devs.
Yeah,
over there.
They actually are. And
oh yeah, no, the competition over there between Amazon and Microsoft and everyone, they just overpay people just so they don't go work at the other company. Yeah. It's like, and then in crypto, everyone's almost too entrepreneurial.
Yeah,
it's like go build with someone else.
The good thing about crypto, though, I'll give the community that is there is some ethics that I like. Not everybody has them. The ethics of decentralization. So a lot of people maybe doesn't want to work there. I don't know. I don't have anything against them. Was I happy with the data leaks and all that? No. Am I happy that they will operate in a centralized world? They say they won't. So let's see what they do. But I don't think it will be good for this technology and the community to have Facebook take over the whole thing. You don't want that. You want multiple companies. Because like I said before, it's going to be fun if there's multiple worlds and multiple graphics, the Roblox graphics, the Sandbox graphics, the high-end graphics, the pixelized graphics. Different people like different things. So let people do whatever they want and give them the chance and the option to own their items everywhere. Something that's never been done before. That's what's the ethics behind decentralization. And I'm a believer, guys. And I think that's the difference between this world and the centralized world.
And as far as like, I guess tactically speaking too, like how do you see this unfolding? Is there like certain standards that will be accepted by these sort of entities working together? Is there like, does it start with like a PFP? Does it start with a legless creature that's running through a metaverse? Like, how does this actually evolve?
Well, every company has its own strategy. I can tell you a little bit what we're doing with the Exorians. The Exorians universe that we're building is a whole universe that has its own stories. That includes comics. It includes playable characters. We don't like naming them PFPs because their primary use is not to use them as a profile picture. If you want to do that, sure, but the primary use is to be playable characters within our universe, right? Around mid-July, I think we're going to go live. Like I said, I've been this week off, so if there's any changes that I don't know, but it's mid-July so far. The PFP model, it was the easier to use right now because, as you know, crypto Twitter, that's where everybody is all the time. So it was like a pretty easy thing to do. I don't know if it's going to be working like that. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's the right way to do it, but how we're doing it is our characters will be playable characters within our game. Our game will take about 2 years, but we will have other use cases till those 2 years, till our game is actually ready.
So like we have this world where there's these kind of avatars that people are buying, and then I don't even know how many metaverse projects that are being created right now. There's probably dozens to hundreds. I don't know how many. Lost track. Ian, maybe you know the exact number. But I don't even. But like so everyone's creating these characters for their metaverses, and then at some point, because all these metaverses start talking to each other, and there's some interoperable standard, everyone's characters are going to work across everyone else's metaverse. Is that?
Maybe not the characters, maybe the wearables or maybe the weapons, right? Because if it's a soccer game, it doesn't make any sense for our weapons to work in the soccer game, right? So
that'd be pretty cool. You never know.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah, you're going towards the goal and you pull up a sword and kill the goalkeeper. It's the general idea of freedom and the general idea of being able to use your items wherever you want to. It's not going to be everything working together. It's going to be some working together. I mean, to me, that's a pretty cool thing to be able to have that option.
Sounds really fun. It sounds very exciting.
I bet Liverpool would have liked that over the last couple of weeks to have a sword that
I was so sad they lost.
both.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No one could score on Courtois. Come on. That's not how it is.
So on that note of interoperability and building, you guys are on your own layer 2. Is that correct?
Say that again, Ian. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the word.
You guys are built. You have your own layer 2 built upon Ethereum.
No, so we're using Ethereum now. We're built on Ethereum. We're using Polygon as well, which is they're investors of ours. Great guys. We love working with them. We're building some stuff on Algorand for now. But like I said, we're all looking forward to this Ethereum 2.0 upgrade. It's been a while. Hopefully it happens this August. But Ethereum to me has been the most stable and reputable blockchain out there. And I mean, I'm not an Ethereum maxi, but out of facts, Ethereum has been stable and you can trust it. I won't name other blockchains that you can't, because like I said, I'm always nice sometimes. But we're just focusing on Ethereum and Polygon for now. But in the long run, who knows? There's new products and there's a lot of smart people in the space that they build their own things, and you can't predict the future.
Right. But you do have your own token, ERN, right?
Yeah, we do, which is on Ethereum and Polygon.
Got it. And so it looks like on your site, you guys list everything in USD, but you can also pay in your token. Is there
you can buy things on our token? Yeah.
Cool. And then you have other.
Our token is the gateway. If anything you want to do within our website, you have to use the token. Stake, farm. We have a bunch of DeFi utilities in there. I love DeFi. I love decentralized finance. That's another huge conversation we can have maybe in another show. But we're doing a lot of DeFi stuff within the game and within the Ethernity world with collectibles and NFTs.
So, I mean, a lot of that's like pretty complex ideas, and for us that work in the crypto space full time, it seems natural and we talk about it all the time. But as you guys kind of onboard a lot of athletes and celebrities that maybe aren't super familiar with the space, what kind of resources do you offer, and what's that conversation like, and the partnerships of bringing them on? And
so because you don't speak to them direct, you speak to their agents first, and usually a lot of people we do business with have the same agents. We do have a company that represents us, and they approach everybody. In the start, we did it ourselves, and it was a nightmare, because it's very hard to explain to every single person and agent how this works and what's the difference and what are the pros and cons. So how we move now to scale is we hired this pretty big agency that's representing us, and we have a little textbook so they know they're actually getting pretty good at explaining. Their accent is better than mine for sure. So they educating their clients before they bring them to us. So whoever is interested to do that, it's kind of flowing right now, so it's not that hard. When we first started, it was really, really hard. We had to explain everything from scratch, and Messi was one of the first ones we did. So, but he was pretty receptive, and he's really interested into what can happen and how you can digitize your identity. Because selling NFTs is one thing, there's so many other things you can do. Digitize, have your own avatar that's actually Leo Messi, and hop around everywhere, hop around different metaverses and different games, and potentially your own ID, or so much utility into the NFT space. I'm actually really excited to see what other people will build as well, because what we're building, I already know, and we have specific focus to build this crazy play to earn metaverse game with a lot of DeFi utilities that looks insane in my opinion. I can't wait for the world and you guys to see when we're ready. I can show you some stuff on a private call. But it's going to be a lot of fun.
You seem like someone that's kind of cheerleading the industry, and you're just excited about all the projects outside of even your own. What else on that side is exciting to you? Like, for example, like we had Star Atlas on here, and they're building something really cool. I mean, some of I think at the time I was watching like Foundation, which was put together by Apple. And then I saw like the trailer for Star Atlas, and I was like, these seem like pretty similar here. And I know Apple priced like $48 billion on it, and Star Atlas probably was like a couple of guys in a garage. So it's like, what gets you excited outside of what you guys are doing?
Two things. I really like the Star Atlas guys. I know my team has been speaking to them. I haven't. I love what they're doing. I really love what they're doing. There might be a partnership there, I think, at some point. But just wait to see our trailer. When you see our trailer,
wow.
I'd love to get your feedback.
I love it.
I'd love to see the news, because on our trailer there is some crazy things happening. Look out for
premiere this. Let's premiere this right now. If you have it handy, let's just.
I'd love to. How many people are watching? Because I can't see it from now. I can't see it from here. I'm from my phone.
There's probably already been 1,000 to 2,000 people.
Yeah, we can schedule it. By the way, we were thinking to premiere it on a Twitter Spaces, but I'm open to do it on in here. But I'm telling you, there's some pretty cool stuff on the trailer that's happening. That's pretty epic cinema stuff.
Yeah, let us know. I'd be happy to help.
Sure.
Yeah, super cool.
I'd love to come back. I know Joe sort of touched on it earlier, but like, I mean, look, to work with, we were looking earlier. I mean, you're partnering with Shaq, and I mean, like at that level, it's not like Shaq just calls you up one day and then you kind of just throw an NFT up there. Like, what is this process like? Are you working with an agent? Like, you're working with some of these agents, and those agents are working with their clients. Like, how does this unfold from beginning to end? I mean, no one's doing this, honestly, at that scale with that many celebrities.
It's case by case, and I'm glad you brought Shaq up, because he was actually very involved himself. He actually loves the space, and we flew to Vegas all together, and we filmed the trailer all together, and he was asking a million questions, which I loved, because he's really genuinely interested. And we have a bunch of BTS from the film. One day we might release them. He's funny as hell. I don't know if I can say that. But he loved it. He worked with Justin Muller, great artist. That dropped it very, very well. And he's doing more stuff. He's doing multiple stuff, not only with us. He's doing stuff with Solana, I think. And he's interested. But usually we don't want to do business with people that are not interested. Because like I said, I don't want to. The community is very woke in crypto, at least the community. I mean, people can argue that, but I do believe the community is smart, and they understand when a celebrity or a brand just want to do a cash grab, right? So we like working with people that are actually genuinely interested on the space, and they understand what they're doing. And if they don't, at least they want to learn, and they want to understand, what is this, right? How is that different from selling a t-shirt? How is that different from selling anything, right? So usually, like before we hire this agency, we will speak to the agents, and we will have a creative call with the person themselves, and we'll go over the ideas. And it's a whole creative process with myself, our creative director, the artist who's going to do the art or the collectibles, whatever we do. And we'll go over ideas and brainstorm, and we'll decide and start creating. And when we're happy, we put them out there to the world.
So like, are they thinking about this? So like, let's say Shaq does I know you have like a card, there's like a card with Shaq on it on your site, and it's cool. It's like super cool. And so how is Shaq viewing that? Is he viewing that as like the starting point of like making his own game? Is he viewing it as like access to special events? Is he like, how do those celebrities actually view this? Because you're totally right. We've seen other platforms, I'm not going to mention them. They do a lot of celebrity drops. It's a cash grab, and the celebrities do nothing after. Yeah,
they don't even thank them.
Yeah, right.
One tweet to say thank you. Yeah, it's man. Listen, we've done mistakes like that as well. A couple of celebrities didn't say thank you, and I was really, really pissed, because that's very important to thank the people who are actually buying what you're selling. It's like you say thank you to the fans when you're playing for a team or you're a singer after you finish a concert. Like, say thank you. These people just gave you millions of dollars. It's simple stuff that's kind of having this how do you say that in English? This pushback. I don't know. I can't find the word. When everybody says now, celebrity drops are not great, but it's going to go away as far as companies understand how to do them, and obviously some of them don't. Special access and events is a big deal. I mean, with Shaquille O'Neal, we did an actual dinner. The guy who won the M101 will have dinner with Shaq they are in touch. They haven't done it yet because of time restrictions of the buyer, actually. But they have a dinner that they'll go and have dinner. And he gave a bunch of tickets for the Sack Fun House. And there's a bunch of other things. Like personally myself, I sold an NFT of my golden retriever for fun, literally for fun. We sold it very cheap, but now it's trading for like way more. And the people who bought it actually do a one Zoom call with me a year, and we talk about life, we talk about a bunch of stuff. And not that that's a big deal, probably for you it's not, but it's fun for them. And we do one call a year, and we have fun. And that's for me. I did that as a test to see if people would be interested to that. So imagine if somebody was actually important to it. Imagine if Lionel Messi does that, right? He did a bunch of signed jerseys and tickets for games. He did a lot of things for real world access. But I like NFTs, celebrity NFTs, to be kind of like how do you reach to them, right? It's very hard to reach to them one-on-one. So I'd like the NFTs we do to be able to unlock those doors, and you get an opportunity to speak to somebody like Zach or Messi and have a conversation, which is very hard to do in the real world, right?
Such a major point.
A perfect partner for that. I mean, he's like, doesn't he own like, the rights to like Marilyn Monroe and like Elvis?
Yeah, we have a partnership with ABG. They're actually investors of ours. We did Marilyn Monroe, sold out. Elvis, we didn't. They did it with a different company. We didn't want to do that. But we've done a lot of things with ABG, who own all the rights. Saks rights are owned.
So that's the parent. What's that, like Authentic?
ABG, Authentic Brands Group.
Yeah,
it's all our investors and partners. They own the rights. David Beckham, Shaquille O'Neal, the Muhammad Ali that we did a drop as well. They own bunch of licenses.
Do you know Cameo? Do you know the app Cameo?
Oh yeah. I think I've met the founder once. I think, I'm not sure.
I feel like that's like I don't know if they're into NFTs, but I feel like that would be like a nice match for you guys, of like, because it started as like, hey, they say happy birthday for $400, but then it's like, I don't know. There's also like, you can go crazy and say, well, what happens when there's like deep fakes, like the one that got like the Tom Cruise face on Instagram, and it's like, how do you know that? How do you know that it's Shaq saying happy birthday to you? Well, you would know if the NFT unlocked it.
Yeah,
and plus Shaq's NFT or his NFT or whatever.
Yeah, plus I feel I don't want to say anything bad about Cameo, because the guy is a very sweet guy, and I think it's a great business model, and what he's done is a fantastic idea. But I feel there's a little bit of not much authenticity when you look at your account and you have 35 happy birthday requests, and you just do happy birthday, Jim, happy birthday, John, happy birthday. It feels like kind of not personal. So I feel when you actually get to Zoom with them in real time and to get to ask them questions or have dinner with them or go to a game, like we did with Manny Pacquiao, that the guy went, watched the fight, met him, had the conversation with him. I feel this matches more the blockchain world and the authenticity I want Ethernity to represent, instead of just having a bunch of celebrities sending happy birthday videos. That's kind of like, yeah. Being authentic is very important in my opinion. And if you can make it work, it's a big deal to the community. Now, I don't say sometimes we might have to do this too. We might say, okay, we got this huge celebrity that doesn't want to have dinner, but he'll send you a video. I don't say we might do it, but I would prefer not to. I would prefer more authentic access. So there's real value.
So who you mentioned like it's about access. It's like talking to these celebrities, and like one of the people that came to mind was like Steve Aoki. He came to mind about, he gets it. He fundamentally understands what this is about. And like Gary Vee fundamentally understands like there's a whole like world that you're building. Who does this well? Who understands this space really well?
Snoop Dogg understands it. Gary Vee understands it. Steve Aoki understands it. A lot of them do. I think as the years go, there's going to be a lot of them that will understand it even better and better and better, and they will see the value. Because now most of them they just see dollar signs, but in the long run they'll see the value for sure, and how much fun it is.
Yeah, totally different. They're basically building their own media network one by one if they truly understand it. So super, super exciting.
It's a brand new business. Like you were selling all this physical merch all these years, now you can sell digital merch. You're doubling down on yourself, on your own brand, right? And it's going to be more fun, and you can engage with your own community. You can have Discord. I don't love Discord, but let's say you can be talking to your own community whenever you want to. It's crazy. It's a thing that's never been done before. It's not. You can have AMAs on your own community, and you can have a live interaction with your own community, with your own fans. Because Instagram, it's not really a live platform that people can comment and like. I really love the fact that you can really have live conversations and you can see what's your community talking, because they're all your fans, right? And you can have 100,000 people on a channel talking about your career and you, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, so like on that note with Discord, and it can get a little overwhelming. How do you guys coach or mentor your athletes that come on to start that conversation with their fans and have that like one-on-one conversation? Because I mean, I'm sure they're not just like handing out their cell phone numbers or setting up FaceTime calls like that.
Yeah, no, Zach, I mean, everything goes through the agents, but Zach came on our Discord a few times and spoke to the community. It actually did, and a bunch of them came and we just want to get them to do more. So
it's mainly on your Discord. You're not having them.
Yeah, at the moment it's Discord. I can't wait for a Web3 company to start their own Discord. I think there was one that started, and OpenSea moved all operations there. I didn't have time to test it, but I can't wait for a company to do that. Like, so founders, if you can hear me out there, please start the Discord like Web3.
There's a lot. I've seen a lot of decks. There's a lot that's trying to be built. I think this downturn probably washed a bunch of them out, but I think there will be a very epic one coming out of this like bear market that like we're all going to be like, bam. So
I can't wait. Trust me, man.
About to be made somewhere.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about authenticity, and like it seems like you're kind of just naturally kind of gating for that yourself, like with probably your team and with probably the people that you work with and interact with, and doing things like the right way. Like we talk about like brand a lot here on like with LunarCrush, and part of the insights that we kind of came up with was it's almost like this counterculture, or almost this like, it's the word we use is subversive, and it's like everyone in the space, like John and I, we used to go to these conferences back in the day, kind of like, 2016, 2017. And it was always like, we talked about what's the thread that's like holding these people together. And at that time, it would be like crypto cowboy, person with a suit on from like software salesperson, like all these kind of crazy people that were like, you would say like, these people would never be at a party together, but they're at this one, And so it's like, but it's like the industry kind of like chews people up and spits them out if they don't have this like thread. So it's like, I don't know, maybe you could talk a little bit about like when you look for authenticity or look for doing things the right way, like what are those characteristics and how do you define them like in our industry?
But do you mean authenticity in people?
Yeah, or just like authenticity, but like applied, like overlaid on like our industry and like Web3, and like what is like the, what makes someone, when they jump into the industry or they interview or something, you're like, they've got it. Like they've got that thing. Like, what is that? Like, how do you describe that thing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a set term for that. I think I like that there is multiple people. I like what you said, that when you go to this conference, you see a guy with a suit and a guy full of tattoos like myself, talking about the same things. And I've spoken to like Eric Smith and his company is one of our investors, and we've spoken about blockchain, who's the ex-CEO of Google, Thomas Wu, who built Arcane and League of Legends. I've spoken to a lot of many types of people about blockchain and crypto that they don't look anything like me and us, and I love that. I love that this new technology is bringing all these people together, and I don't think there's a set term to define. Like, as far as you're authentic and you are yourself in any business, like I've had meetings with all suited up guys, and I just went like that, and everybody was just listening because none of them really understood blockchain. And I like that. I'm not going to wear a suit because I have to. And our whole team, we started with 3 people, and now we're like about 100. We do camera zooms. Everybody can wear whatever they want. So I like them to be themselves, because if you're them, I never believed in the office culture, meaning, oh, you have to dress a certain way. You have to dress however you want, in my opinion, to be creative and be yourself. So that's the best way you can produce, and you can be the best version of yourself in business and life. So yeah, I think being authentic is be yourself. There's people who doesn't even wear suits and build billion-dollar companies. Totally. So it doesn't really matter to me. There's not a set term at all of how you are.
So when like an Eric Schmidt comes to you and says, Nick, what the hell is going on over here? Like, I know, like,
Yeah.
all the kids are doing it, and like, it's growing, and like, that's all I'm hearing. It's like, how do you explain it to them?
Like I'm explaining to you. Exactly the same way. And if they don't understand something, and I'm Eric's CEO of the company, Michelle. She's very, very, very smart, and she led the investment. She's done her homework, and she fully understands blockchain and NFTs. And the same with other people. I mean, we've got Michael Rubin as an investor, who's the CEO of Fanatics, multi-billion-dollar company. He owns the Philadelphia 76ers as well. I explained it to him like I'm explaining to in the start. That's how it works. And if people are interested, they keep asking questions. And obviously, when they end up investing a large amounts of money, and it seems they did understand it, right? But yeah, the same way, if I asked for when I was 10 years ago, when I was asking how government bonds are working, they explained it to me exactly the same way. So, it doesn't matter. Just explain it. For me, it's a little bit harder because of my accent, but for everybody else, I would assume it's the same.
Very cool.
Yeah, so like on the note of finding people in the space that get it, like, how do you hire? How do you know, we were talking earlier about developers. It's hard to find developers. I think it's hard to find strategists. It's hard to find marketers. It's hard to find designers. It's hard to find the whole thing. And so this is our challenge as well. We talk about this probably every single day. How do you hire?
So people who've built other successful companies before, or worked for other successful companies before, they already have a network of individuals, talented individuals that have no experience with Web3. But it doesn't matter. If you're a good designer, you're a good designer. So we found some key people like that, because like my CTO is ex-Facebook, ex-Google. So he had a lot of we have a bunch of ex-Google, ex-Facebook guys on board. You'll be surprised, but mainly we use our previous networks. The whole team, was some came from entertainment, some came from marketing. So we used our networks. But something that really, really, really surprised me is we hired some people out of nowhere, out of me tweeting, "Hey, we're hiring, DM me." So I've got about 1,000 DMs, and the team really interviewed every single person. We have 3 people that are working for the company right now that are Twitter hires. That's why I call them. And I'm so glad we have them. Because they just wanted to learn so much, and they wanted to be in the space so much that it makes up from your past experience. If you haven't worked in a big company before, if you're so motivated to be in this space and work for a company, it makes up for all the rest. So our CMO, James, he worked for companies before, not in a huge company, but is one of the best guys we have in the company right now. And all because he wanted to learn, and we hired him through Twitter, really. And same with few other people. But key people, I do understand that you need some past experience, and we just brought a CFO on board, a new CFO that's worked for huge companies before, because we needed him. Because it's a different skill set when you have a company with 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 2,000. If our company ever becomes a 2,000 people company, I won't be the CEO. I will be the president. I'll just do creative stuff, because it's a different animal to run a 100 people company and a 2,000 people company. So definitely
so interesting, man. That's so interesting, because a lot of the companies, how many people are you, like 20 something, 30 on your company?
100.
Yeah, 100.
Oh, you have 100 people. Oh, I just was seeing what was on your site. I didn't know you had that many. Yeah. So that's interesting to scale that way.
Yeah. We don't even have time to add them.
That's a lot of people to add.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like Twitter is a great source for you. And, that's again another thing that we say. Probably Twitter, all your recruits are probably like on Twitter. All of those people are there. And so how do you look at the community around your brand? I mean, how do you look at social, and how do you engage with that community?
Me personally, I mean, if you go to my Twitter, I engage pretty often with the community. I mean, not the past 10 days because I've been on vacation, but usually I'm always on Twitter. I always respond to people as much as I can when I don't work, and I always run votes. I always post I'm always there. I'm always on Discord and Twitter when I get a moment, because it's very important to me what the community thinks and what the community opinion. Obviously, I don't run my strategy based on community ideas, but I'd like to feel the mood, and I'd like to feel and see what they think, because those are your customers, and you got to listen to them.
And there's like, I guess there's, to broaden that out a bit, there's Ethernity and sort of its own strategy with like, evolution of your marketplace, launch of your metaverse. Like there's going to be a lot of things on the Ethernity side. And then you have this sort of like
the Exorians.com. It's a brand new brand that has its own team.
But even on top of that, you also have the NFT drops that are on your platform, and there's marketing on those as like sort of campaigns within different individuals. And so how does your team support all of that? Like how do they operate?
Well, for now we have one CMO that runs both projects, but we have another 6 people on the marketing team, right? Some of them do ads, some of them do leads, some of them do strategy, some others do support, paid ads. It's too much stuff. Social media, community management. We have about 12, 13 mods on for Telegram, Discord, and all that stuff, right? So it takes a lot of people to run a Web3 company. It's not similar to anything I've seen before.
And so like roughly 20%-ish of your 100 people are around marketing and community engagement.
Yeah.
Wow.
And more, really. And we have about 15 developers for both projects. Because that's not the only project. We're launching another project that's called Eye Candy. That's only purely art, no celebrities, no brands. A third website that's going to be later the year. But we don't have enough people to launch it now, right? It's kind of ready, but we need more. And I can't run really 3 companies myself. So we're looking all the time for good people to help and run, because you need dedicated people to run each project. Otherwise, it won't be perfect. And I'm really a perfectionist in everything, besides my English. So we're definitely looking for more people right now.
You've got great English, Nick.
Yeah.
If Elon can run 3 companies, so can you.
Well, no, I'm not Elon, and definitely can't. Man.
It is interesting to think about like like the CEO or the founder like of the future a little bit. It's like when you look like, if you're talking about like bonds earlier, so you obviously understand like, some of the CEOs that ran a lot of the banks and like what that kind of like look and feel was, and like, suits and ties and like very buttoned up on CNBC, like talking about the talking points and everything else. And then it's like very quickly it went to like Elon Musk like smoking weed on like Joe Rogan's podcast and like not giving a fuck, right? A little bit of like I'm running these businesses, like the proof is in the pudding of my work, right? And it's like when he goes to buy something like Twitter, people are like, well, shit, I can't really like bet against this guy. Like I could say maybe I think he's an asshole the way that he talks, but like you can't be like, man, that guy really sucks at business. You can't say that. So it's like, how do you think about like that you're talking about being on Twitter and like kind of that public perception? It's like, when investing in companies, would you look at a company and be like, man, if that founder isn't very public out there talking about things, like I think about this as a CEO all the time. It's like, man, there's a lot more time that's dedicated towards understanding the kind of the heartbeat of the community out there on Twitter, out there everywhere else. It's like, it's an interesting way to think about it.
Honestly, I don't think it matters. And what you see with Elon right now, I know a bunch of other CEOs who are that way. I wouldn't consider myself being a suit guy either. I always say things that people think are not very, like, how do you say that, politically right to say, because that's who I am. And like I said, authenticity to me is more important. If I meet a founder that's authentic, I like that more, because I know he's going to tell me things how they are, and he won't tell me what I want to hear. And I don't really care, like smoking weed at Joe Rogan's posters. Who cares? The guy's sending people to space and is building satellites for the world. That's all I care about. Execution, the plan, and if somebody's smart and passionate about the project. Like you said, he's running so many companies himself, which is crazy to me, right? I couldn't do that. And I don't know a lot of people who could, right? Yeah. So those are the things I think you should be looking, because I've been an investor first and a founder after. I've been more years an investor than a founder. So I think the main things you should look is the founder and him being authentic and being himself and being passionate about the project than actually being a guy on the suit telling you corporate BS that you want to hear, right? And I think that's the evolution of our species, guys. I mean, the stereotypes that you have to be dressed a certain way, I don't think that's true anymore. And something to add is what I think is going to happen in the next 10 years is we're going to see way more women founders. A lot of women, I think, will start becoming successful founders. Not that we don't have women. There's a lot of women out there, but the majority are men, right? But I feel the evolution, there's just so many smart women out there that they don't get enough credit. We have about 8 in our company, and I wish we had 50. So I feel that's going to be the next step, that you'll see a lot of women leading big companies.
I agree with that. We just put out a job rec for a social position, and we had 116 resumes submitted, and it was one girl that submitted out of 116.
It's
Right?
the
And
stereotype. They will go away. You know, as we evolve as people and as species, all these things will just take its natural course. And I think everything we see just natural. People doesn't care about suits anymore.
There's a mentality there of like, and like out of the 116, there were literally like 80 complete throwaways, right? Like it's I don't know. There's this difference of like applying to a position is like, if you're a guy, you're kind of like, hey, even if I'm like so underqualified, I'm still going to apply to this position. One person's like qualifications were have my license and car.
I'm really glad I don't get to interview anyone unless it will
I want to talk to them. I really do.
A lot of funny stories, but and a lot of BS. Like I know my team. I did the call actually because I was so intrigued by meeting this dude. We were looking for a back-end dev, and this Asian dude who applied, and he like lied about his whole resume and where he lives, and we found out later he had a different name. It was a crazy situation, and he told us I live in San Francisco, and after we hired him, he told us, "Oh, I'm moving back to Hong Kong." So there's crazy.
Never lived in San Francisco.
It was a crazy situation, but there is a lot of. But you interview 100 people, you hire one or two. That's pretty normal.
I've got an idea. Why don't we just all build a job engine that's literally connect your MetaMask? That's it. No form to fill out, no document to upload. Just connect your MetaMask. You can tell if they're into crypto or not. Done.
Yeah. It's like, have you bridged assets? Like, how long have you been a part of it? Like, you know, it should be done.
I agree. Depends your position. Like, I don't expect my CFO to really know anything. All I want is projections and runaways. I really.
You don't want him. You don't want him to connect his MetaMask and be like, "Well, this guy just aped into 420x coin and got rugged."
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know anyone who did that. So we're coming up on time here. I want to ask kind of a fun question. You know, because you're into the metaverse and we're talking about this. Would you do cryonics, or have you already signed up for cryonics, and do you know what that is?
I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry.
So cryonics is where like Ted Williams, like the baseball player, like basically like there's these people that they freeze their body. So right when they die, people come in, they freeze their body. Some people just freeze their head, which is weird. It's like, where do you think they're gonna upload the consciousness? But we're talking about the metaverse. You get to like be into this metaverse. Like, would you guys do it?
Well, I'll wait for somebody else to do it first, and
people are doing it. Oh, it's a big thing.
Oh, like send it to me. I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's crazy.
I don't know why. I don't know why I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking someone like Ted Williams, the baseball player, does this. He doesn't know the metaverse exists. Here we are 30, 40 years later. We're already like starting to build this metaverse. Like he's got to, he's probably going to be pretty stoked here. He could be waking up in like 50 years.
If he makes it, for sure. I don't think they're going to make it. Let's see what happens. Who knows, man? Life is fun.
We're a long way away from it.
Stay here way longer, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But who knows?
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's just a fun one. I was watching a thing about uploading consciousness and everything else, and I just kept thinking about the metaverse, and like we could get to a spot where, living in the metaverse might be more fun and more interesting for a lot of people. Like you're saying, like we're spending so much time like on the phone, texting, talking right now, and that's like still an interaction with just text and on an Instagram, where people are spending more time on that than maybe they're spending with other people. Yeah. And that's just like a base level interaction. If you can up the experience there and think about like, watching a Disney movie from 30 years ago to watching a Disney movie now, we're not very far away. Like, that's why I'm excited to see your trailer, because I'm sure you guys are going to have something pretty epic.
It's all about,
you're pushing it.
Our story is all about uploading consciousness on these avatars and what happens after. So you'll be, but it's not real. It's a story. So it's
not real yet.
Yeah. So give it a look. When it's ready, I'll I think it should be going out in about 2.5 weeks. But yeah, I think you guys will love it.
Can't wait.
It's amazing, man.
Okay.
Any
Great.
you guys got any other last ones for Nick here before we go?
I like our other fun question of, how do you stay healthy in this crazy space?
I
This
love
doesn't stop.
I love this question because I'm not a phone guy. I spend half my time rock climbing, paragliding, surfing. So when I have time, I'm in nature. I don't really stay. I used to play games for a long time, but not anymore. So for me, if I'm not in nature, I can't really be productive or be creative at all. So if you go to my Instagram, all you see is nature and work, right? So I balance the two. Obviously, the first year of Ethernity, I worked like 90% and 10% I was out in nature. But now I'm like 60-40 because everything is flowing. But I'm trying to take time for myself. When I don't work, I'll go on the beach, or I'll go rock climb, or I'll go paraglide, or I'll go snowboarding. The winter, I'll go snowboarding for at least a month, 30 days at least, I have to put on the snow. But without that, I wouldn't be able to really build anything. I'd be unhappy. And being happy is the foundation of building cool shit.
Love that answer, man.
Keep it up. I asked this last night on Twitter, some people, but do you have any sort of daily ritual for mental health that like instantly became a habit over the years? Like something that you're like, I'm going to try. Like for me, it was like Wim Hof, it was like, I'm going to try this like little, just 10-minute video. And it was like one of I tried everything, meditation, everything, nothing sticks. That one video just like stuck. Is there anything that like has stuck over the years, like a little tip or trick for mental health that you picked up?
So I listen to a lot of Alan Watts. I don't know if you guys know who this guy is. He's a British philosopher that I listen before I go to bed, and it relaxes me, and I get a good night of sleep. I always try to sleep well. I listen to a lot of Alan Watts. I try to listen to him at least twice a week. Sometimes I'll do 7 days a week. That's one, but I feel a lot of my brain power comes from actual exercise. So I need to get out. I need to go to the mountain. I need to do. So my ritual is at least climb once a week, or at least snowboard whenever there's snow once a week, or paraglide once a week. If I don't do it, that's my kind of my ritual. I need to get out in nature once a week at least, the whole day, with no phone, with nothing. So that's helped me to feel healthy and being able to be creative. But I don't have a daily ritual, really. It's very hard. I wake up every day 6:30 a.m. And I'm trying to eat healthy and get to work right away.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it is. It's just keep pushing down the road. Well, Nick, man, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. This is awesome. And John and Ian, as always, gentlemen, thank you guys. This was great. And everyone out there listening, appreciate it. This will be on YouTube, all the podcast channels that we got, Twitch, you name it, shortly. So Nick, thank you very much. We'll chat with you backstage, my man.